Hello everyone. Today we're gonna talk about the next line from our Ishida Joseki. Last time we talked about this line, the violent line from static rook side after we finished our castle. This is our basic position, right? Today we're gonna talk about this move, 6-4 pawn. The idea of it is to put the silver here and basically block our rook pawn exchange. The first thing we wanna do to counter that is to put our rook in floating position, and we're gonna target moves like this, attacking the king's head pawn, and you notice that it's pretty hard to defend it. The solution that the books gives us is the bishop exchange, and then bringing the silver here so that we can answer this move with this one, right? So the general idea is, if they don't defend this pawn, you wanna go here and put a pressure on the enemy king. Truth to be spoken, according to computer, this line will be still equal, but nevertheless, it's a nice trick to surprise your opponent. Also, if they don't exchange their bishops and put the silver here, we have the option to go for the closed Ishida, also worth knowing. But the main book line is that they do exchange the bishops, and we enter this weird opening transition when we deal with bishop exchange, third file rook once more. If you guys remember, in those cases we do have to be careful about how our camp is balanced. We will be using this gold on this side of the board, but the question will be, how do we exactly activate our rook? And it's gonna be a lot of small tricks trying to find our way through. So let's see one example of that today. In order to utilize the fact that they didn't play this before playing this, we will push this pawn and exchange our rook pawn. They're not gonna take it, they're gonna bring their gold up, and this typical exchange will happen. This is just what they usually do. Then we will ignore it because, in fact, if we try to attack here, we do not have enough pieces to break through. Yeah, they have knight, silver, and gold, right? So they will be able to defend that. We have to be more patient. We're gonna keep that pawn in hand, take it as our benefit, and we're gonna prepare our camp. We do want to use all of our pieces in order to attack, so we will slowly prepare our left silver in something like this. This shape is also natural for static rook side. As we said before, this is gonna be more of a strategy where they put a pressure on our floating rook by the close existence of those generals. Yeah? What we have to be very careful in this particular line is that our rook don't get trapped. And I will show you one of such lines. For example, here, if we were to jump the knight, we will have trouble after bishop drop 5-4. Our rook has de facto only one square to go, which is the edge. And you say, no problem, if they push the pawn, I'm gonna attack the bishop. But they're going to protect first and then push the pawn. So that's not going to work. Bishop 5-4, or in some other Joseki lines that are similar, bishop drop 4-3, always is a big enemy of Ishida style floating rook. Yeah, so please be careful of this particular diagonal. So in order to not allow them to drop the bishop before we jump the knight, we will move the silver here. And you would think that it does nothing, yeah, but its existence already puts a pressure on the enemy. You see they cannot push the silver, they cannot develop the silver. So it is natural that they will try to push you back, and you will accept it, because look what happens. Now this square is off limits for the bishop drop, so we will feel safer developing. It's a usual trick for third file rook to try. So now they are gonna change their plan. They will put their silver here in order to reopen this line and target the same line. And the book line continues with knight 7-7. If they were to continue with their plan, we actually have a counter in this moment, which is gonna be bishop drop 7-1, rook to 7-2. Here we have to sacrifice the bishop for the silver, and then our rook becomes free once more. Yes, we've lost the bishop, but we have, yeah, all of our pieces active, so it is a good fight. Also, this move next, being next to the enemy king, threatening already, is quite a good square for us to be. A sub variation of that, instead of rook 7-2, if the rook will go to the center, leaving our bishop where it is. This is opportunity for us to activate the knight, and then exchange, and then fork the gold and the rook. And it is even more easy to understand that their camp will be in disarray. So even though we don't have a bishop, we will be quite happy to fight with it. Alright, so they didn't give us the chance to activate our silver on the 5-5 square. They pushed the edge pawn. They're waiting, right? What can we do? Well, we're gonna drop the pawn 7-5, pawn takes, and here this is important. We're gonna take this pawn with the rook. And this is very hard to notice at first, but the main idea of the third file rook will be rook exchange. Similarly to what we did in the previous variation, similarly to what all the swinging rook does, rook exchange is what we want. And the main reason for that is that, you know, their gold walked up to here. Then look at their king. There's only one gold protecting them, right? So if we only had a rook here, seems like they're already very vulnerable. So we want to utilize that. And we want to use that to our advantage. Yep, trying to exchange the rooks. They will of course block us from doing so, using the silver, yeah, attacking the rook blocking. We will go back. And here we will threaten to exchange our silvers now. And that silver exchange would be very beneficial for us. From this chapter, let's just understand that if swinging rook manages to exchange this left silver, the rook will become more free. And it will be successful for us, yeah? Successful outcome for us. So for example, if they were to avoid that, that also doesn't help because we can force our way through by doing this. Yeah, we can sacrifice the bishop, promote our rook, unstoppable. Instead of doing that, they're gonna try to move the gold up, and this will again be the bookline. So our rook is about to die. There is a pawn drop in front of it, so we have to drop a pawn of our own. Force the bishop backward, and yeah, you can notice, yeah, our rook needs more breathing space, so we will give it to it. Gonna drop the pawn, and we're gonna go here temporarily. But Sensei, what about the pawn drop here? That's a very good question, yeah? The knight seems to be dying, but actually, because this is the last pawn of Gote, we can take this one. They have to take it, right? And you can drop the bishop once more to 7-1. If the rook escapes, we take 2 generals for 1 bishop. Right? We already know 2 generals per 1 big piece. Very beneficial to us. That's unacceptable. On top of it, you know, they have no way to block our rook. If they were to escape anywhere else, like along those lines, to protect the gold, well, I would discuss that, you know, simple bishop promotion already looks scary. They don't have a pawn drop. That's perhaps the most crucial point here. We sacrificed the knight for a pawn. This was their last pawn. They don't have a pawn drop. So next we're retaining, yeah, a simple pawn drop here if the rook escapes the silver dice. Yeah, quite good for us, isn't it? That singular horse just undermining this rook's position and de facto making this gold hang is an amazing counter attack from Ishida. So what can they do? Because we're retaining this knight sacrifice, they will try to defend it, right? And it seems like we don't have enough power to break through. There is one trick that we can do, and that is to put the rook exactly where it was a few moves ago. Using the pawn exchange once more, we come back. And here we're, as the arrow showing, threatening to drop the bishop to 7-4. Simple pawn push wouldn't do the trick because there's 2 defenders. We need a bishop drop. They would try to counter-attack on their own, trying the same bishop line as we saw before, then pawn 5-5. But again, we're gonna counter it same exactly as before. A bishop drop 7-1. The same line, if they go here, simply take the 5-5 pawn. If they go to the center instead, we have to show a little bit more creativity and push the 7-4 pawn. And here it is the matter of calculation. Which piece can take it? None of them. If the silver takes it, we have a fork. If the gold takes it, we finally exchange that silver from 6-6. And as we said, this is a good outcome. And even though we didn't break in through yet, we have very strong follow-up. As you see the arrows, we have the gold to 6-2, which will fork the rook and the silver. And we have pawn drop to 6-4, which is gonna allow us to create a token. So this position is considered to be sufficient for Sente, meaning we have a little bit of fighting chances. So from this chapter today, what you should understand is if we are in the bishop exchange position, we use this gold to the left. We then use the silver in the center to put a pressure on the enemy so that our rook is not in danger. And then how to break in. The main point will be that we either use the knight to break through this square. And then for the further sabaki, it will be always the question of how do we exchange this 6-6 silver in the main line. As you saw, we exchange it for the gold, leading to our success. Yeah, so that's all for today. Next time we're gonna talk about different defense, which is going to be rook 8-4. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.